Hello, happy belated New Year, everyone. Um, Here is a recorded episode to discuss a few things in a short period of time. I have fallen behind in doing my discussions about the planetary influences with um, with the signs and also the decans related to uh, to those signs and where we are um, during different parts of the year. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to be very brief. I'm going to be changing a lot of things on this channel and making it dual purpose. I will be exploring podcasting a little bit. It could be later, it could be sooner. I still am doing some research about the positives and negatives of both medias of YouTube and podcasting. So let's just get started. So we've had a few things, or one major thing take place last week when we were in our last decan of Sagittarius. Now all of this I am making reference to Sidereal, okay? So for our Sagittarius, there's not really set dates sidereally that are aligned and I guess approved for the decans in regards for the sidereal placements of the signs. So what I've done is, I'm not going to go into each of the details because I want to focus on building a course on the decans and not so much the history behind it, but just the different ways that we can use the decans outside of the Golden Dawn system, and working with sidereal dates. So with Sagittarius, which we have here, the card associated with Sagittarius is the Art card. And it's also known as Temperance. So these dates for Sagittarius, since as of January 13th, we are moving into our first decan of Capricorn, which I'm going to talk about as well. So the way I've broken up the decans, the planets are going to stay the same, but I've just had to switch the dates because sidereally speaking, the signs tend to be placed like with Athen Trementi. He has a midpoint date system. So a lot of the dates that the signs are moving in are tending to be in the middle of the month. Because of the way the Earth is revolving around the axis, and we have our northern hemisphere he's found, and it's also very similar to Vedic that a lot of these signs are moving in during the midpoint, during the revolving of the Sun with the Earth for these dates. So Western tropical astrology sees it more with the equinoxes and solstices, which is seen as a fixed system. The dates do alter by 1 or 2 days, so but the dates that we see the signs in Western tropical astrology tend to be like the 20th, the 21st to excuse me, to either the 20th, 21st, 22nd, depending on what sign we're moving in and out of the next sign. Now with the astrology of Sidereal, we're looking at least maybe 10 days, maybe 10, 15 days before. So in tropical Western astrology, we are seen as the sign of Capricorn. We're almost ending it in about a week and moving into Aquarius. But here's the difference. With Sidereal, we are just starting. So the way you could tell is if you get an app, I've mentioned this a few times, get an astronomical app raise it up to where the sun is. And if you use your app carefully, you'll see where Mercury is, and Venus, Mars, all of these planets. But they're not going to be in alignment with the Western tropical astrology placements, so they're different. Going back to Sagittarius, that's why our dates are different with Sidereal. Okay, it's just where they are physically in the sky, and at what point in time of that month. Not even the seasons. The seasons aren't even considered in Sidereal. It's more physically where they are placed in the constellations. So with Sagittarius, for this Decan dates that I've worked with, our first set of Decans was December 15th, 16th to December 25th, 26th. So it's every 10 days. And that put us into our Eight of Wands. Okay, so this is pretty much during that third week of Christmas, or the holiday week of Christmas. And from the 15th, 16th to 25th, 26th, those 10 days, we saw Eight of Wands, swiftness, movement, a lot of energy, a lot of things happening. Sagittarius is fiery energy. It's also a mutable sign, so mutability signs like Pisces and Gemini and Virgo, they need space. They need space to think, to feel, to move, and to create. And then we go into our second Decan, which is our Nine of Wands, and that goes from December 26th, 27th to January 5th or 6th. This places the moon in Sagittarius. Here with our Eight of Wands for Mercury in Sagittarius, right? Mercury's all about communication, how we logistically rationalize things, how we process information, how we view things. This is coming in the sign of Sagittarius, Mercury in Sagittarius. It doesn't mean that at this date, between December 15th and December 25th, 26th, that we were actually Mercury in Sagittarius. That isn't the case. You can use wherever Mercury is at the time of that Decan period of those 10 days. You can use that as an additional influence for these guides of these three decans. These are archetypes, okay, but they're decanic archetypes in regards to how we can move with this energy during these decans, okay? So I encourage people to look at, if we're working at the Mercury in Sagittarius, see where Mercury is at that time, okay? Where is it transiting through? The same here with our Nine of Wands. Now we got strength, okay? But the strength is the moon in Sagittarius. This is water energy and fire. Here we have air and fire, which work together. Here, this is more of how Sagittarius is experiencing the results of what's been happening so far. This Nine of Wands, this moon is Sagittarius, is December 26th to January 5th, 6th. Strength, okay? This is when the moon moves into a sign. I feel it's a time of more, not taking physical action, but more of taking a personal review of yourself, of what's been happening, okay? So we're feeling things, we're connecting to things, either in a good way or in a bad way. What's the influence that's happening right now with this moon in Sagittarius? Again, for this time frame of December 26th, 27th to January 5th or 6th, look and see where the moon is, the moon sign is during that Decan period, okay? Again, please remember this is not the physical placement of the Decans, of where the planet is in that sign, okay? These are guides, these are archetypes. Now, interesting here, right? We got swiftness, we got this energy, the holiday rush, a lot of hustle bustle going around during the Christmas week. This is now after Christmas. This is more New Year's energy, getting ready for the New Year's, what we're doing. So there is a sense of feeling empowered, feeling motivated to, go into the new year with something new, with something exciting, which is a very big thing for Sagittarius. They like adventure and excitement. Our Ten of Wands, right? This is different. Ten of Wands here. This is Saturn and Sagittarius. This is our symbol for Saturn, Sagittarius. And this is January 6th, 7th to the 13th, 14th. Not quite 10 days. But during this time, if you remember last week, the fire started in Los Angeles. We are ending this decan. We have Ten of Wands, Saturn, heavy. This is earth energy. So we're going from air, moon to earth energy and Sagittarius. This is not a great placement for a fire sign, let alone a water sign. Because again, these are flowing energies. Air and fire and water are free-flowing energies, stuff that we need to experience. Air is constantly moving, but it's always there. We don't really see it. We feel it. It's obviously keeping us alive as we breathe oxygen. We could see elements of pollution. But with our Ten of Wands, the week of the fire, we are going towards the earth, right? The earth of Saturn, restriction, limitations, maybe some forms of destruction. This card here is of oppression, all right? And we have a background that is very desolate. There's nothing there. There is this feeling of not being able to control situations. We can't control what's going on around us. And we feel like things from outside are just so overwhelming. This is where we get this card here of Ten of Wands. Those fires started in Los Angeles, I believe it was like the 8th, the 9th, one of those days, and this puts us right into this area of Ten of Wands. So there is oppression, fire-wise, damage being done to the earth, but we're seeing something very interesting, and I mentioned this in my previous video where I was doing my live, how sometimes fire, purging, being oppressed, being weighted down is sometimes good, because this oppression, this thing of holding down, being weighed down, not being in control of the situation is forcing us to look at change that we can't, that we may not want, but it's change that is being forced upon us. Okay, and so with something as destructive of fire and damage to buildings and earth, buildings is also part of Saturn's influence, right? Structure, form. This is something, as hard as a card it is, something to learn from. Okay, whenever there is a loss, whenever there's a challenge, a disaster, whether to our environment, to us personally, there is something to learn from it. And this is all about accepting the situation for what it is, because it is weighted, it is heavy, it is beyond our control. Okay, so these decans here, 8, 9, 10, from mid-December to January 13th, 14th, we're seeing in the past month, in that time frame, how this energy of Saturn transformed, and how the sign of Sagittarius, of the explorer, the adventurer, looking to get to the other side, reaching a point, reaching a climax, is something that is needed. It's like a wake-up call for Sagittarius. We also have here, associated with the Knight of Wands, Sagittarius energy with the court cards, So fire, fire, lots of movement. This is a very hard card to see, to really visually take in because of all the damage that took place or has been taking place in Los Angeles. But it's going through it. In the distance, we see here, we see the rainbow. It's on the other side, okay? But there is the next step that is there for those who have been exploring, those who have been going through an adventurous challenge. There is something to learn from it, okay? And it's beyond our control. We have to accept with whatever has happened has happened. Our art card, temperance, balance, opposing elements. We are looking here. We have our tiger. We have our eagle. We have the entity that's balancing this energy of fire and water. The eagle of wisdom, of knowledge. Our lion of creativity, who's kind of chilling back there. But balancing these forces. Okay, not letting one overpower the other. These two work together. And this is almost similar to working together in situations that are out of our comfort zone. Okay? And again, knowing that things are beyond our control. We have to work with what is. Stop fighting. Stop complaining. I know it's tiring and exhausting, but when things come to our forefront, we do have to work with those energies as it is. And then, of course, here we have our Ace of Wands, beginning of creativity energy, how we utilize this power. This is of the Telos Tarot. This is all about potential. Excuse me. This is all about potential and where we could take this energy. How we can use this energy to purify, to see, and also to purge and to make space for something new. Okay. This is the beginning, so this is when the spark starts happening here with the Aces of Wands and any of the fire cards, Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. Okay, so this was our Decans, okay, for Sagittarius. Now, I have the cards here for Capricorn. Okay. So Capricorn here, I'm just going to move this off. Capricorn, the devil. Okay. Also associated with the Lovers cards. If you break down the 15, it comes to a 6. But with this deck, there's no numbers associated, because M.M. Moline is working with the visual interpretation of Crowley's 777 manuscript, and also interpreting that manuscript and putting it into the Decans. So just to keep it simple, all right? So the devil, earth card, I've already touched upon. The planetary influence of Saturn with the devil. This card is all about, you know, our own challenges. Okay, I'm still working through this deck because this deck just was released a couple of months ago, and I have not gone through the entire deck. I'm going through it through the Decans. So I'll probably be done with this deck towards the fall, as I started with the sign of, I believe I started with either Libra or Scorpio. So that was the time the deck was released and when I received it. So anyhow, we have the devil. What do we think of when we see the devil? Okay. There's a lot of binding, there's a lot of transformation, but also fear. What are we facing during this time? What is holding us back? What are we allowing to let us be held back? This is what we're seeing here with the devil card. Okay? This is something heavy. This is something that really chains and binds us to things that we have grown so comfortable to know. Sometimes there's comfort in pain. There's comfort in something that is very familiar. And I mentioned about getting out of your comfort zone. So this is something very important. It challenges us. Okay? So we can use this card for the month of Capricorn. And I'll go through the decans in a moment. What are our fears? What is the one thing that we just cannot let go of? Or what are some of the things that we just can't let go of? Okay, I'm not saying that by stating this and creating this episode that people are going to start dropping their habits and breaking their chains and letting go of patterns and whatnot and turn a new leaf overnight. This is years. This is lifelong work. Okay. We have the Queen of Discs. Okay. Court cards are the stages of maturity. Our Queen of Discs is seen here as the sign of Capricorn. Okay, we have the horns. There's our little Capricorn. But it's not the sea goat. We're not seeing the sea goat. Okay, we're just seeing the twirling horns. So beautiful those are. Water of earth. Okay, so we have a Capricornic. I just made up that word. We have a Capricornic individual with their rod. The environment is with water in the distance, so we have that connection. So we have the feminine, the softness of how we are connecting to work that we are in the process of continuing or maybe beginning. But the Queen of Discs is someone who has done the work. Excuse me. Someone who has done the work. Okay, Capricorn are workaholics. They love to work. They work on things that they firmly believe in. They work for the sake of working. Okay? And the perks come with, getting the end result of financial stability. I kind of have a little side humorous anecdote about Capricorns because I've met quite a few Capricorns that don't seem to have had, at least at one point in their life, an issue with money. Capricorns seem to work enough that they have money and they're fine. Okay. Some people will disagree. Some people say I'm a Capricorn and I'm the poorest person I could think of. But when I think in hindsight, if you really look, if a Capricorn looks at their situation, it is quite different. Okay. The issue really isn't of money. That's not their focus. Okay. Capricorn rules the 10th house. Public life, what we've been creating, what we're doing for career, how are people seeing it? Okay. So with this Queen of Discs, this feminine energy of how we are feeling about our work, there's a sense of security with this. Okay, there's emotional security, and it's something that really strengthens the energy of this card, the Queen of Discs. All the queens, all the kings are the ultimate peak of maturity. Whether you've achieved it or not, if you have not achieved these levels of influences that the king and queen has, it's something that we need to work on. These are, again, personal archetypes, very different from the major arcana, right? Our Ace of Discs, okay, similar to what I was saying about our Ace of Wands. This is a beautiful card. So this is of growth. This is the beginning of where we want to start focusing our energy. We want to see things develop, and I believe that's an alligator. I thought it was a ram. We are beginning to work on something that is of great value. Discs, okay? Discs are of the earth. It is things that are of security, personal, and maybe monetary value. That could come in the form of house, car. What's different with Capricorn is the value for most Capricorns is their work, their job, their position, where they are in their role of work. Whether it's working at a liquor store or working at one of those multi-billion-dollar companies, Capricorns are there to show their responsibilities, to show their dedication towards just work. They are reliable in that sense. So our Ace of Discs, again, is the development of this energy, the building up towards something that is of value. Security, investments, stuff like that, health as well. Okay? All right. So instead of going through all the decans, well, maybe I should, because I want this video to be with some information, because I'm not going to be posting content again for a little bit. So here are our decans. Again, this is for Sidereal. This is for the Sidereal placement of Capricorn, which Western tropical astrology, we are also in Capricorn, but we are at the tail end of Capricorn. The Western sign of Capricorn ends on January 19th. And then on the 20th, it moves into Aquarius, so that's about a week away for Western tropical. But here, everything I'm speaking about is Sidereal. We have our 2, 3, and 4 of Discs for the month of Sidereal Capricorn. We got Jupiter in Capricorn. This is our symbol for Capricorn. We got Mars in Capricorn, which is a very good placement. And then we have the Sun in Capricorn. So in a nutshell, because I want to talk about our year of 2025, the year of the Hermit and also the Moon in a moment. But here are 2 of Discs. Jupiter is all about expansion, abundance, luck. Jupiter in a earth sign is good, because that Jupiter energy in a sign of Taurus or Capricorn or Virgo shows how this level of expansion of abundance, how we can maintain it. Okay, when we earn it, we don't go over the top. It's not like a fire sign where if we get money, a lot of money, we tend to just kind of splurge with some of the fire signs. Not all of them, but there is a potential of Jupiter, especially in the fire signs of Leo and Aries. There is a tendency to use this expansiveness to a point to where it could be also a problem. There could be too much of of a certain something for those signs, and it can be hard for them to, again, control it. Jupiter in Capricorn it's good. We have here the management. This is our Two of Discs. Now, usually with the Two of Discs, we see someone who is shuffling. They're kind of tossing things up in the air. They're seeing the results. I'm not going to go into the esoteric aspect of this card because I want to focus again just on the meanings of these cards here in relation to the visuals here. So this is seeing how we've developed, where we've put our time, our energy in, what it is producing. Whenever you are in the process of working towards something and you're developing something and we're seeing it take form and shape, okay, there's aspects of change that will be happening. Change within yourself and change in the energy of what is happening here. Get this back in focus. So with our Two of Discs, this is going to represent the time frame of January. Let me get my dates here. January 13th, 14th, which we have already started, to January 23rd, 24th. This represents our Two of Pentacles. Our Two of Discs. Our Three of Discs work. And this is held in the planet of Mars. Mars in Capricorn is very good because this energy of Mars, which is fiery movement, it's initiating, it's forward moving energy, is placing Capricorn right where it needs. It needs this influence of working, building, constructing. This is actually seeing Capricorn in action. Okay. We have sands of time here. But yes, but the process with Capricorn, though, it's not fast. The earth signs do not move fast. They take their time. They take their time. And when they take their time, they're putting their thought into it. They're putting their feelings. They're putting their energy into it. They're not going to rush. There's not going to be, a shoddy job, a brick that isn't going to be placed incorrectly, especially with Capricorn, and maybe even Virgo, because Virgo is very precise with things and how they see things. So this is very important. Okay, Mars and Capricorn. That Three of Discs will be of January 24th, 25th to February 4th and 5th. Okay, so that's our Three of Discs. And rounding out Capricorn. Okay, January, the month right now, is the month of Capricorn. Regardless of the dates, tropical or sidereal, January is the month of Capricorn energy. Our Four of Pentacles. This is the Sun in Capricorn. This is another aspect of this sign. It's power. But this is power that comes from doing the hard work. Capricorns can sometimes be, I've read in an article or some story about Capricorns that they could be seen as being bullies. And so I feel with the Sun in Capricorn, I'm not saying that they are bullies, but we can see the sense of power when it comes to achievements. And this is a big deal with Capricorn too. They need to protect that. Okay, so we have to watch out with an overuse of that power. Okay, it's okay to make the calls out and make sure that everything is being done in a timely fashion, but we cannot, especially with the Sun. Sun is vitality. It's how we are seeing things from an outwardly perspective. we can't really, you know, start being too much of a dictator when it comes to this. Okay? You've earned. This Four of Discs is showing the results of where you are in this process. You've earned the level of where you are right now. What are you going to maintain this? What are you going to do with this energy so that it's something that it doesn't become an ego trip? Something where everyone can benefit from, including you. So by placing your power out in a fair fashion, it's probably not the right word, but in a manner that it benefits everyone, by seeing that benefit with everyone else increases this power and this level of respect with this Four of Discs, okay? So our Four of Discs, I keep saying Pentacles, but I think you know what I'm talking about. This is our last one. This will be February 5th, 6th to January 10th, 11th. Still not quite 10 days, but the 10th, 11th is the last day of the Decan for Capricorn. Again, this is not from the Golden Dawn system, the dates. The placements of the planets with the signs in the Decans, that's Golden Dawn, but the dates that I'm using it from a sidereal perspective. Okay, so it's going to be different from the dates that the Golden Dawn and the Tropical Western Astrology has been assigned to work with the Decans. Okay, so this is where we are right now, starting January 13th all the way to February 11th. We are in this officially in the month of Capricorn. Happy birthday to all the Capricorns out there. So next is, I'm going to move these cards aside. Okay, so I'm going to be focusing for the next 10 days, the Two of Discs for this Decan of Capricorn until the 23rd, 24th. Okay, but also remember the energy of the devil. Okay, this is Capricorn energy, Saturn energy influence. All right, so I mentioned that we are 2025, we know what year we're in. We add these numbers up. We are in a 9-year. A 9-year is a year of completion. Okay, so some of you may have a double year, and what I mean by that is that we are in the year of the 9, but you may also be a 9 relating to your birth date. Okay, so the way you do this is you add up your birth date, drop the year, you just do the month and the date, and add this year's date, and that will be your card for this year. Okay, so some of you may have a Hermit year, or Hermit and Moon year. Okay, so I want to talk about this briefly, and then I'm going to share you these two cards, which are actually my year, or my archetypes for this year, which is actually pretty interesting. The Hermit and the Moon. Okay, Hermit and the Moon. Hermit, Virgo, Moon, Pisces. Okay, Hermit is 9, the Moon is 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. You can reduce the numbers if you like. Anything that's past 10 to 21 or 22, the 22nd card you can call as the Fool, F-O-O-L, the Fool card. Sorry, my congestion's making it hard for me to say some words clearly. But anyhow, feel free to reduce those numbers down. I never wanted to reduce the numbers down if I had a double number, but I started doing it quite a few years back, and it is interesting to see the opposing energies of those cards. So if you are from 1 to 9, don't reduce those numbers now. Just stick to those numbers that you have. Okay. But if you're in a double digit, like from 10 to 21, 22, feel free to reduce those numbers down, because if you do 22, which would be the Fool, it reduces down to 4. So it's totally up to you. You could just count the Fool as that extra card of 22. But I like to leave the Fool like it is, actually. So the Hermit and the Moon, Virgo, Pisces energy, these are the opposing signs. Hermit, right, reflecting inward. Our light, our inner light for guidance. Okay. But here we see creation. Look in the Ouroboros. We see the egg. It's an Orphic egg, but we see it in a reproductive vessel. We start seeing roots grow from it, like a fallopian tube right there on the top. Then we have the snake on the bottom. Snake's also forming a infinity symbol like the 8. Okay, again, I'm not going to go so much into the esoterics on this because I want to keep this video simple. But look what we have going here. We have what's growing, the creation, but also here, okay? This Ouroboros, our light, our guidance. What is our creative direction? We're planting the seed. We're starting to see it give root. This is the revealing. This is the journey of following the light that we have within us, maintaining that light, but also gaining the knowledge from it, okay? And when we gain the knowledge from it, where are we applying it to? Okay? We can't waste knowledge. We got to put it to work. We needed to move and to create the next step, the next series of knowledge, okay? So this is our Hermit, Virgo, okay? Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so we're looking at things of the mind. How do we process this energy of Mercury with Virgo and put it into the spiritual realm? Okay? This is all about insight. The Hermit, all about insight. It's getting that aha moment and knowing where we're going to put all of these influences with us. Okay? And putting it to work. Putting that knowledge, sharing it with people, and letting it grow, let it mature. Now the Moon, okay? I feel with this energy that's going on, this is again in reference to this year of 2025. Okay, again, use these influences if you like in relation to your own cards. The Moon, look at this, so many beautiful different variations of moon cards in the major arcana. We have what looks like koi fish. Okay, but we have the scarab, the dung ball, rolling it forward. This is Pisces. This is again, we're facing our inner fears. But this card here is a little bit lighter. In spite of the blood dripping from the anguished full moon, this is a form of acceptance, but also revealing. This aha moment that we get here spiritually through the Hermit, and I don't like this camera, there we go, that we get from this card, the knowledge that we gain from this. Okay, this works through us in a deeper way. The Moon. The Moon is our subconscious. Sorry. Okay, the Moon is our subconscious. This insight, this revelation, the knowledge that is coming forward and growing within us. Sorry, I'm going to do this really quick. It's starting to reveal aspects of ourselves. Okay? we're putting this knowledge to work, and we're starting to see what is developing from this experience of the Hermit, the Moon. We're going to be feeling pain and anguish during this time, but it's needed. But this is a time where we can use this energy. There we go. This energy of the Moon to really embrace and understand what's been happening. Okay, I'm going to close this again. I think it needs a minute, so you can listen to me talk for a second. So yeah, this revelation, the spiritual enlightenment, the awakening that we get through the Virgo card of the Hermit and the Pisces Moon work really good to really understand deeper aspects of ourselves. Okay. So I'm going to move these other cards over. So this is part of the reason why I don't like to do videos as much anymore, because these cameras sometimes just fail on us. All right, so there we go. So for me, for 2025, okay, I'm going to place this here. My cards are going to be the Hanged Man, which is ruled by Neptune, and the Empress, which is ruled by Venus. So with the Hanged Man, Neptune is also in the realm of Pisces. But let's talk briefly about Neptune, okay? Neptune is all about the deepness, what we can't see, the mystery, the unknown, the subconscious, the deeper realms, the shadow side of us. And what's interesting here is this Hangman. Okay. This is very interesting because I actually feel, when I look at this card right at this moment, I feel like this is the shell. It's a feminine form, but I feel this is the shell of this energy, of this individual. Okay? Because we have our legs crossed and the energy that's moving in, we're like in an abyss. The waterfall, we're like in the deep cavernous part of a valley, which is ourselves, but we're also inverted. And we're just being held by one leg. This is a card about fully letting go. What do you do in a challenge situation? How do you process what's happening? Because a lot of things come up. Place yourself in a dark room, or in a dark environment, and then you come out from it. You start seeing daylight after a few days. Things feel different. When you're forced or placed in a situation where all you have is yourself and your fears and your ideas and your joys and your pains, there's no visual stimulation. You are in your own abyss. Okay. Think what comes up in situations like this. This for me could be a version of the dark night of the soul, when things are challenging and you are forced to look at things literally upside down, changing the view of things. Now, with the card next to it, the Empress, ruled by Venus, we got the end result of this experience. This is a symbol here by my thumb. Forefinger for Venus. Look at this. it's, for me, the reason I mentioned the dark night of the soul, I had a guest on my channel who had a spiritual awakening, but he was very ill. He didn't know what was going on. He was just deathly ill. And doctors couldn't quite figure out what was going on. And he recovered, but he wasn't the same person. And he was saying to me that that experience of what happened completely changed his life. You know, it's like when someone gets a second lease of life, like they flatline and they come back. For the most part, some people are just like, I'm not the same person. And also too, I think scientifically the brain gets rewired when you go through an experience like that. So when people get sick, they have a cold or anything of that nature, something that is very hard on the body and on the mind, it does alter the spirit. It does alter the soul. So that's what I'm saying here with the Hangman. You're put into, you know, a very life-altering situation, depending on the extremity of it, how extreme it is. And you come out and you start seeing things in a different light. And the Empress is all about the beauty of the environment, taking care of that environment. That environment can be you. This is very nurturing energy, but nurturing energy based on the experience that we have gained from the Hangman. Okay? We're going from being reverted to being upright and standing and having this shield. The Empress is also associated with the sign of the Emperor. They work together, masculine, feminine energy. But this is a crowning of, I feel, almost a sense of self-respect based on this journey work of the Hangman. It is a form of being grateful, I feel. So when it comes to working with these year cards, I would like to start these cards at the actual birth date, not at the beginning of the year. Okay. So right now I am still in my, depending on what system you want to follow, strength for 8 or 11 for justice. Justice is sometimes seen as the 8 card in some tarot systems, but I'm using the strength card primarily, but also keeping in mind the influence of the justice card as well. So I'm midway into that because my birthday is in May. So I have a couple more months left of this energy of strength. So we have my card of strength with this Hermit energy, and then when the birthday comes around in May, then I start going with this energy, the Hangman, Empress, and seeing what's been happening with this year of the Hermit and of the Moon, and seeing those influences. So there is already signs for me that has been very Neptunian, but also very Pluto-like. There's been a lot of energy that I've been feeling about releasing, letting go of things. Like I've been donating stuff, things that I'm seeing that are no longer of value for me. I'm passing it down. I'm gifting it to people. I shouldn't say things that I don't find of value, just like I don't see any respect. I don't want to put that energy to anything that I've gifted to anyone, but it's something that I feel that maybe someone can benefit from, because I'm already done, you know, with that experience of whatever I had. So this release here between the Hangman and this gain with the Empress is something very interesting, and that's going to be going on for a year. So keep track of those cards, watch for things that are happening, and keep in mind, you know, watch Neptune right now is in Pisces. I believe Neptune is going to be, yep, it's still in Pisces for this year. Venus, as you know, goes through signs um, more frequently than Neptune. So right now our Venus is in Aquarius, and it'll be staying in Aquarius until uh, January 27th, until when it moves into Pisces. This is again sidereal. So it'll be in Pisces on the see, I'm looking at my calendar here. It'll be in Pisces on the 28th of um, of January. So look for these shifts. Look at transits of how things have been moving, where they could be going. And again, always make reference to these archetypes. Blend them in with the decans for Capricorn and also for Aquarius. It does make a difference. All right, so this was very comprehensive. It was very jam-packed. So we went through Sagittarius, we went through Capricorn. Um, any questions that you have, I am planning to create some courses regarding the tarot and some advanced levels of the tarot. Again, this channel is going to be shape-shifting. This is where I am right now. Well, come May, we'll see. Come mid-May, we'll see where this energy is going to be for me. But right now I'm in the strength year. Sounds like I still have to hang on, and I will hang on during this transformation, during this shift of energies and influences that I've been feeling. So yes, any questions, let me know. I will see you all when I will see you. Keep tabs of what's going on. I have my website where I do readings. Again, I'm really excited about these changes. It's about time that things move on for me in certain aspects of my life and where I want to focus my work on. So I am greatly looking forward to this year. All right, great or small. Thank you again, and again, let me know how you feel about this episode, covering all these different grounds of the decans. And again, this deck here is the Tell Us Tarot of 777 by M.M. Moline. I will leave that information in the description of this episode. All right, happy Capricorn, everyone. Have a great month.